Colin McNamara. Good evening. Name and address for the record, please.
Colin McNamara, 47 Grandview Street. Some good comments tonight, and it's good to see a lot more people here today. So I want to talk about a few things. It's always kind of quick with me. First is being transparency. I come and give comments sometimes, and I've been looking at the minutes. I talked about it online with you guys through the email. But I noticed that all my comments that were related to Manchester in my January 4th remarks were left out of the comments. And when I asked about if they could just kind of be annotated or amended to include those, I got a response from the town lawyer, which basically told me to fly a kite, which is fine because I like flying kites. But the new minutes that came out used to have like 6 to 10 lines, and now everyone's got 3 lines, which isn't as good. I guess no good deed goes unpunished, though. Oh, I forgot to mention, guys, it's good to see everybody. We did it. We flattened the curve 2 years later, and that's to be commended. It only took a war to get us out of the corona. We had to switch gears. So the minutes that you guys do publish, I was looking at the Legislative Research Center, and it says that the minutes have to be published within 7 days of the meeting ending. This is actually the document that Mr. O'Neill sent me. But the minutes that you guys published for February weren't published until the 23rd. And that's 2 weeks after the deadline. So if we could speed that up, because I wanted to be able to look at these minutes through the whole thing. Switching gears, nothing says Village Charm like a random shooting. We had the shooting at Mobile. It says in 2020, the incidence of violence jumped to 48.69 offenses per 1,000 residents. It's the 4th highest crime rate in the state after those charming towns of New Haven, Hartford, and New Britain. We got to do better. Alarms.org rates Manchester 56th safest town in Connecticut. So I saw that the Manchester Police Department launched this new crime fighting app, and they want people to download it. And I said, that's interesting. It kind of wraps in some technology factors that I look into often. So I checked it out. Atlas One is the app. It's got 50 reviews. It's got a 1.7 rating. I don't know whose idea this was, because this is not a good app. All these reviews are 1 star. Here's a guy who's in app development. As someone who works in app development, this app is terrible. It asks for totally unnecessary permissions. There's no need for you to have to constantly access my location. So if you download the app, they want to know where you are at all times, which I don't think is appropriate. If you want to get the word out about crime or maybe a fugitive, you wouldn't need this kind of technology looking in your phone. But I'd like to know the exposure. I'm sure it wasn't that expensive for them to sign up, but I'd also like to know by next month or maybe the following how many people have downloaded the app and how well it's working, just so we, are accountable. The Advisory Health Board, new topic. I listened into the meeting the other night, and not a single question was asked. And I'd like to be on that board because I have lots of questions. I'm full of them. And it was about an hour long, and it was a lot of backslapping, and not a single question. And I wanted to see the other meetings to watch those, see if any comments or questions they asked, but they weren't recorded, unfortunately. The other thing is the Main Street project. I was talking about this at the Sustainability Commission the other night. Only 318 people responded to the survey about what the town should do with the money. I put the Main Street idea in 3 different forums for town today. Had 88 people that said the plan was ridiculous, and 18 that were for it. And that's not a scientific survey, just kind of a finger on the pulse. But I am curious if the town businesses have been questioned or surveyed on what their idea, because maybe after 2 years of slow business, they don't want another year of construction limiting their business. And what do the town business on Main Street have to think about the new idea to limit it and the traffic? Anyway, hey, thanks for having me, guys. See you next month.
Thank you, Mr. McNamara.
Take care.
Any other members of the Mr. McNamara, item 8B.
You need the address again?
Yeah, just for the record.
Oh, yeah. Colin McNamara, 47 Grandview Street.
Thank you, sir.
I don't stay late for many of these meetings, but this is a pretty big line item. Almost $16 million. And then there's the ESSER 2 bonus special population recovery grant to address delayed, interrupted, suspended, or inaccessible students with IEPs. Can you imagine like having a kid that has an IEP and having to navigate what they've been going through the pandemic? Another bonus for dyslexia recovery grant. These are smaller ones. But the real one is the American Rescue Plan. Elementary and secondary school emergency relief through the ESSER, the American Rescue Plan. So that's the almost $16 million. And it says to reopen safely and address the academic, social, emotional, and mental health needs of pre through K through 12 students. But like, what is affecting students' mental health and emotional health and academic health the most? Mental health crisis. What do you think is different about going to school now than a couple years ago? It's wearing a mask. Wearing a mask for a kid forever, all day long. Adults take them off all the time. They can't see facial reactions to their friends, family. And it's not right. The real sad part about all this, though, is it's through the ESSER funding, and there's a whole conditions list. It's like a punch list of things you have to do in order to get this money. And the first page is like a universal masking of children all day long. So to get this money, $16 million, I believe the town's going to get $27 million in funding, but you have to mask the children for 2 years. And that's why we have a mental health crisis with children, is masking them. We all know it. We all look away. No one wants to look at me right now. Now you want to look at me.
I'm writing notes.
But that's why. And I feel like we've done to kids a mass disservice for short-time gain. Because that money's going to get spent. But those kids are never going to get those 2 years of their life back.
Thank you. Thank you. Secretary Burgess, item 12D.
Item 12D, appointment of a member to the Advisory Board of Health with a term expiring November 2024 to fill the vacancy left by Kim Malone.
Director Crespin.
Yes, I appoint Colin McNamara at 47 Grandview Street.
Do you have a party affiliation?
Unaffiliated.
There's a motion by Director Crespin to appoint Colin Mack to 47 Grandview Street, unaffiliated, to the Advisory Board of Health with term expiring November 24th to fill the vacancy left by Kim Malone. Is there a second?
Mr. Chair?
Is there a second? Second. Discussion?
Mr. Chair, I move to table this.
There's a motion to table by Director Muniz-Poland. Is there a second? Second by Secretary.
Mr. Chair.
Hold on, Robert's rule, I gotta do my job. Is there a second? Secretary Burgess? Although, the table, Secretary Burgess.
Aye.
Director Conyers.
Nay.
Director Crespin.
Nay.
Director Floyd Cranford. Aye. Vice Chair Jones.
Aye.
Director Muniz-Poland.
Aye.
Director Shane.
Aye.
I'm sorry, Director Reichhold, I missed you. This is
Nay.
nay. Chair votes aye. It's tabled at 6-3. Item 413.
Item 13, comment and discussion by board members on items for future agenda or general concern.
Items for future discussion. We're going into the budget season, so we have a lot of budget workshops. I believe the general manager will release his budget next Tuesday. And then we start with the Board of Ed on Wednesday night. And board members, You should have them on your calendar. Director Reichel, I think we can get them for you. It's couple meetings a night through the month of March. So we'll get those exact dates for you. Other board members. Director Cressman.
Yes, my concerns about item 12D, the appointment of a member on the advisory board. Now, I asked previously to untable it. It was denied, and now it's being tabled again. It's been going on and on and on, and I would like to know the reason why.
We can have further discussion after
Yes.
the meeting, if you'd like, for the next meeting, if you want to talk about the next appointment, but
Could we have if anybody has a reason why, I think the public should know why this keeps being tabled since I've nominated a taxpayer,
anyone want to answer?
lifetime resident who's contributes a lot in town and so I don't.
The board
The board has no
board
reason
votes,
why
and they voted to table. And
it's tabled.
usually with tables, no further discussion, but that's why I said you could have discussion before the next meeting. But Robert's Rules of Order, I believe, I could be wrong if the town attorney's on, once it's tabled, that we don't have discussion, but I know that for a fact, so, on the item, but I don't know if we can discuss it here, so. Is the town attorney still on to help me with this?
Yeah, muted.
Town attorney?
Mr. Barry?
Yeah, I'm on, yep.
You're talking about motions table?
We tabled an item.
The item that was tabled, 63. And the question is, can this be discussed afterwards, under 13?
Right.
Yeah, I think that's a fair characteristic.
Right. My concern is it's been tabled or refused to be untabled several times, and I believe the public has, needs to know why. I guess I could just rephrase it and say that I have a concern that certain people are being blocked from participating when they truly want to be part of the process and be helpful and, just help in the community. And we're using tabling to stop them. I guess I'm just straightforward like that.
And at the next meeting, you can move to take from the table and explain why, and then have a vote on that. And there can be a discourse between members of the board of directors as to why it should be taken from the table or not taken from the table.
You did notice that I tried to do that, and it was quickly tabled. So hopefully at the next meeting, we could have a discussion before it's tabled.
We can discuss in between also.
Okay.
Any further discussion? Budget meetings, is there a motion to adjourn? Moved by Secretary Bergen, second.
Mr. Chair, on the last line item?
No.
Director Conyers.
Director Conyers, I'm sorry, Director Conyers.
I apologize again. I'm having some technical difficulties, and I got kicked out and just had to rejoin the meeting. So I had just one other note for future agendas, if I could comment on that at this time.
Sure, absolutely.
Thank you. And I apologize about being out of order. I'd like to ask for town review of boards and commissions reporting to ensure that up-to-date minutes and actions are reported to the town and available to the public on the town's website. Just through a brief cursory look through available, reporting of those minutes and action items. Some of them, I won't get into specifics, but I saw a couple that had no reporting for the last 3-5 years. So could look into that and hopefully get all our active boards and commissions up to date with reporting their minutes and action items. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Connors. Any other